Well, hello, welcome back, my body language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and welcome to episode number. Oh my God, it's episode number 24. It's like time. You know that time these days, at least for me. It's a bit of a mess. I try to keep a track of time, but sometimes it's a bit hard. You know how time flies. We are almost 25 episodes into this show. Let me see if I can fix a couple of things here on my screen. We are ready to begin. I don't want to lose any time because there's so much that we will be covering today, including but not limited to. We're going to be talking about that WOKE ad from Jaguar. We mentioned that yesterday. We have new details, because I really thought that was a trolling campaign, and some of you really like my intro music. You know that that's one thing with my intro music, that while it's sounding, it's going on the intro music. I'm vibing to the music right now while I'm checking that everything is going fine. We are going live through YouTube on the Jesus Enrique Rosas channel, on X, Kinesics, and on Rumble, the Jesus Enrique Rosas channel as well. So I'm checking all this while the music is playing, but I'm all vibing to the music. Maybe at some point I could play the music and just show you how I vibe to that. It's like this. It's like ragtime. I don't know how to define the genre, right? The genre. The genre, my music knowledge doesn't get that far. But let me see. Let's get started. Again, a lot to cover today. I usually start with memes. I'm going to start with some breaking news that we need to address. And the first breaking news that we need to address is this. Biden administration tells Ukraine they can keep $4.6 billion they were supposed to pay back to the U.S. Like, you don't have to pay that back. There's no problem. Go ahead. Just keep it. We have zero problem of you keeping that money. That is insane. But how much can you do with $4 billion? How many people, how many homeless people in the United States can you help with almost $5 billion? We're not talking about illegal immigrants and all that is being wasted onto them, but that's gonna be ending soon. All right, I like this comment. I love this guy and his crazy fun accent. This is something that I might address at the end of this show. My accent, something that I should be talking more often. By the way, now we're talking about voice and accent and all this stuff. Some of you have requested for my show to be on Spotify. I forgot to include the link, but since 2 shows ago, I am uploading these shows to Spotify as well. When they finish, I upload them to Spotify in the next 15 minutes after they have finished. So if you want to listen to this show on Spotify, you can do so. I might include the link, update the link in the chat or in the description of this video as soon as we end today. But moving on, there are many crazy things happening in the world in terms of parenting, and we have this. I needed to address this. Again, I usually want to start a bit of laid back, but we need to address these topics because they are urgent. Jeff Younger, I lost all parental rights to my sons. Goodbye, boys. Perhaps we will meet when you're adults. California judge, you has gave my ex-wife authority to castrate my son James. All contact with my boys must be supervised. I won't do that. I send letters and gifts to my sons. My ex is not required to give them to the boys. I cannot post pictures of my sons either. Let my story be a cautionary one for young men. Fathers have no rights to their children, especially in California. Do not enter the family law system. Again, this is not to scare you on not having children. This is like a cautionary tale in which you have to really be good at picking your partner. This goes both ways, both men picking women and women picking men. It's that simple. But this example, this is a bit extreme example, especially because people have opinions whether or not this father should do the supervised visits. I really don't know. I don't have experience advising this or coaching this. So, and luckily I don't have a first-hand experience in this either, thank God. But he also said this: a number of well-meaning people, and some ill-meaning people too, have urged me to attend supervised visits. That is a bad idea. It's bad for kids. Supervised visitation reinforces in a child's mind that the father is dangerous, that something is wrong with him. I don't know. I have some resistance to that affirmation. That is a blanket statement depending on what is the age of the child. All right, maybe he could just look at normal, that there's some kind of supervision as long as your father behaves like your father, that loves you. I don't know. I have certain resistance to that argument. But he also says it's also bad for the father. The supervisor can record anything he wants. Whatever he writes down, the court will take as fact. Supervision provides infinitely malleable material for the courts to make damaging findings. Well, but how I don't know, if you're playing Monopoly with your children, it's not going to be a problem in any way. Is that I don't know, so many things that are happening in the world with judges, both in California and the UK alike, and many other countries like Germany. I can understand. I cannot have a real opinion about this. I just maybe give you my point of view, but we don't know what this parent and many others in these states, in these crazy states, are going through. It's also very expensive. I have to do visits in Los Angeles County, California. The flights and supervision run to over $2,000 per visit. $2,000 to be able to see your own children. No parent should do supervised visitation. It's bad for the children, bad for the father, and allows courts invent fault findings to further endanger the father. Still, I would love to know what I'm going to courts. It's pronounced courts. It's not courts. In what I'm saying, courts, right? Oh my God, English. Whoever. Just checking the pronunciation very quickly. Let's see.
Court.
Court and British.
Court.
Court. And what I'm saying? Court. Okay, let's say court. I would say court. Thank you. Court. Thank you. AMA. AMA. I need that help. I need that help. All right. Court. I would say just like that. It's all the you know that they say that when you learn. I haven't been learning English for 30 years, but like 95% of that learning was just reading. So that is the reason I don't know how to pronounce so many words. I really never pay attention to pronunciation of words. But here we are. You're helping me do this. You're helping me do this in real time. English is crazy language. You know that before we move into this, what is that? What is the name of that? There is something that I've wanted to do since a long time ago, which is reading The Chaos live. Some of you know The Chaos, some of you don't. I'm going to try to give you the example right now so you're aware of what we are talking about. Just make a quick stop here. The Chaos, a poem of English pronunciation from George Knowles Trinity. I've said that at some point I will be reading this from beginning to end. This is quite a long poem, and which has all, if not all, a lot of inconsistencies of the English language. And I said that like 2 years ago, like 1 year ago, that at some point I need to read this aloud flawlessly, but know how to pronounce all this stuff. I know that the first verses go like this. Dearest creature in creation, studying English pronunciation, I will teach you in my verse. Sounds like corpse, core, horse, and wars. I will keep you sissy busy, make your head with heat grow dizzy. Tear in eye, your dress you'll tear. Queer, fair seer, hear my prayer. Pray, console your loving poet. Make my coat look new, dear, sew it. Just compare heart here and heard, diced and diet, lord and word. Sword and sword, written and written, mind the letter how it's written. Maid has not the sound of bade. No. Maid has not the sound of bade. I'm just messing up. I was practicing that at some point. This is like 100 verses, something like that. This is a long ass poem, and I just stumbled upon the, I don't know, verse number what, 19. Say, said, pay, paid, laid, but plaid. This is insane. I remember that I had a recording of someone saying it properly, which is quite crazy because I have like 2 or 3 recordings and there are words that they pronounce differently, which makes it all the more insane. But I would do this at some point. I will do this at some point. But we need to go back to what brings us today here. The insanity of the world breaking. The illegal alien monster who killed Laken Riley has been found guilty on all 10 charges. Laken Riley should be alive. This animal never should have been in our country. On January 20th, this madness will end once and for all. I would just say one thing. Public drawn and quartering should be a thing again. Public drawn and quartering would be televised. Just make it pay-per-view, as there was pay-per-view for the Jake Paul and Mike Tyson fight, which, by the way, Netflix is being sued because of such a lousy stream. It was so bad, the live stream, that it went, the signal went out. For so many people, was buffering all the time. They couldn't just watch the match properly. Imagine seeing a boxing match, and all of a sudden your screen freezes and begins buffering. Oh my God, Barb Jones, why do you do this to me? Why do you do this? Through, thought, though, thorf. That last one always, thorf. That last one always gets me. That last one always gets me. But let's try to address more lighthearted topics, like MJ Truth Ultra says here. Sonny Hostin was forced to make a legal note that Matt Gaetz was found to have done nothing wrong after trashing him, stating he had, the horizontal mambo with an underage girl. And look at her face. She didn't want to make that statement. She had to read this statement publicly, and this was just amazing to watch. Let's listen.
On screen. What about gay? Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi.
Thank you. I need to read this, and this is my face. I am not thrilled in any way, shape, or form of reading this, but here we go. I need to do this to keep my job because of my big mouth and because I cannot restrain myself when talking about these evil people. That gesture, I need to do my my Zoom thing. That was the Karen. The Karen. This is brief but sweet, very sweet. I'm going to make sure that the volume is fixed.
Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Yeah, this is what happens. This is what happens. Let me see. I want to check one thing. I'm going to mute this, and I want to check how many times did she blink throughout that statement. Of course, she's reading from a teleprompter. This is obvious. She has to read that word for word, and for this kind of stuff, well, you need a teleprompter, so she doesn't have to read from a paper. She has to read it looking straight into the camera. But just to make sure, let me see if she... Okay, 1. She blinks once, 2, 3, let's say 4, 5. That's nice. 6 and 7, and she presses lips at the end. She knew what was coming. She already knew that she had to do this. How long is this? It is so glorious. This is this kind of things. It's like less than 20 seconds. 20 seconds of the most glorious content that you can watch in TV. And so much body language in here, especially the way that Whoopi is enjoying it. You can see that when Whoopi presents her, Sonny, you have a legal note. And she looks at the camera, of course, because she has to do this like she's addressing the public. It's something normal, right? This is a regular fare on TV. But she's enjoying this because even if maybe Whoopi doesn't like Matt Gaetz as well, it's other than her that has to say this. I don't know if this was the other lady, Sonny, who said something about Gaetz. She went overboard and she got, maybe they told her, if you don't say this out loud on live TV, then I'm going to sue your arse all the way to Mars. At least it's Mars and not Uranus, but you get the idea that she was going to be sued if she didn't read this out loud, no matter what. But maybe she could have, this guy is a bit that attitude of a schoolgirl has been. Regañada. I don't know how to say that in English, but regañado is in Spanish how we say it's scolded. That would be the word. And of course, memes did not wait. The right to bear memes and the right to bear memes, they had to do the exact moment of the Karen. The Karen. And she did that. That's what I tell you. That we were going to win either way. Maybe analyzing Kamala for 4 years would have been bad for mental health of anybody, especially mine. But analyzing all these meltdowns publicly, I'm not complaining. And then we already know, we have this theory that Donald Trump picked Matt Gaetz only to piss off a lot of people, and maybe Matt Gaetz is not going to be confirmed. It's going to be confirmed by the Senate. But then, by comparison, maybe the other proposed members of his cabinet will get through just because, Matt Gaetz is something as someone outrageous for Attorney General. Who knows? Who knows? He gets to be Attorney General after all. That would be extremely fun to watch. And one interview that I wanted to mention was this interview. I don't watch much Lex Fridman's podcast. I don't watch podcasts that much. I should be interviewing people very soon. Maybe you can. I should ask on X, who do you want me to interview, and maybe I can begin to move in the strings. Maybe one or two interviews a week would be something nice to start. Of course, it's not going to be inside this live show. I also want to make my pre-recorded videos as well. I want to do so many things, but I want to make it clear that I don't watch many podcasts, if at all. I find most of them boring. They usually repeat the same ideas over and over again. I have an AI that summarizes them for me. But in this case, it's Javier Milei, who, well, I admire Javier Milei in many ways, and he has very good points here in terms of what he talks about, not only climate, but some other, let's say, policies that are poisoning the world. And when he talked to Lex Fridman, it was something important. He was talking to Lex Fridman, and he was outlining all the flaws and all the ways these policies are being applied to control people, not only in Argentina or the United States, but all over the world. And so I found it interesting, for sake of that we love common sense and we love freedom, we shouldn't listen to Javier Milei. It's in English, by the way. Very good work from Lex Fridman to have this AI thing to make Javier Milei speak in English. And if you want to listen to it in Spanish, you can do as well in Lex Fridman's account. But here we go.
That's one thing. And not only that, but the other side of this is the environmental agenda, which sets man against nature, involving all aspects of environmentalism and everything related to climate change.
Because the topic of climate change, it makes you realize that this is just like a cash grab. And, well, squeeze to the regular population of something that, okay, maybe we want cleaner air, but as long as you're not talking about, as long as you don't talk about nuclear power, then you're a hypocrite. It's that simple. We need nuclear power, more nuclear power, and now.
In other words, they can't stand any serious discussion. Therefore, all environmental policies are nothing more than an excuse to collect taxes, so that a group of parasitic bureaucrats can live at the expense of others and finance sinister ideas, where the most sinister idea of all is that there is no room for everyone on planet Earth. That is, an idea that failed with Malthus at the beginning of the 19th century, a murderous idea that was also applied by the Egyptians against the Jews, and this is famously recorded in the book of Shemot, or Exodus.
I know that this kind of topic is going to be, YouTube is going to be, oh, right, wait, but climate change is real. You cannot say this and that. I have some notes on my live shows. YouTube adds notes on my live show. I just hate that. Like, we are just having a discussion. This is an open discussion. I'm just talking. I'm just addressing something. I really don't like those things. That's why I tell you, go and follow me on Rumble. In the description of this live show, there's a link just in case we're going to address heavy topics and we can talk at large there on Rumble or X if you prefer.
Or, for example, another thing is Black Lives Matter. That is, black people against white people, or indigenous people against the established communities. Or, everything related to LGBT agendas. Definitely, these are some of the ways in which, socialism extended the class struggle into other aspects of society.
This is very important because we used to think of Marxism and socialism and this struggle, the class struggle. Was the bourgeoisie and the proletariat, and this struggle was mainly economic. But right now, at this point of humanity, you have so many ways to make money online that it has been just diluted. There's so much wealth right now, and so many people can live. Have access to jobs and opportunities, that these globalists had to switch that struggle from economic to something else, maybe gender, maybe a problem with climate change. They have to put people against people in some way. Remember that is a formula for control. You make sure that there is a constant infighting in the population, no matter what they stand for. If there's no struggle in the population, you fabricate it in any way. And if the population still doesn't want to, infight, then you bring immigration. You bring people that will make them fight against those immigrants and tell them that they're xenophobes and racist and privileged bigots and all that stuff.
Creating divisions and fostering deceit with the sole purpose of absorbing taxes. I mean, what was the Ministry of Women in Argentina doing? Did it manage to reduce a single femicide? No, none at all. The number of femicides exploded just the same. In fact, the most feminist president in Argentine history, Mr. Alberto Fernandez, used to beat his wife. That is such a strange feminist. I mean, well, so within the ranks of feminists, let's say, you will essentially find the largest number of rapists and women beaters.
So that's he goes completely no filter. If you want to watch it, this is with Lex Friedman, the Lex Friedman podcast. Let me see some of your comments. I want to address some of your comments so we can talk about them. Javier Sideburn Millet, yeah, he has a nice sideburns. I used to have. I decided to shave them because they were a bit uncomfortable. That's why you remember my sideburns were much larger. Let me see. The clip of Gates with the laptop is so gangster. Trump picked the best man for justice. Bye, Karen. Bye, Karen. We will be talking about some Karens today. Sometimes I read some comments. I say, "Oh my God! Would it be nice if I highlight this comment?" I don't know what I'm highlighting. There are a couple of things. Maybe we should go into the heavy topics as right now. There's one topic I want to address. It's not a heavy topic, but it's an interesting topic nonetheless. Michael Cohen. Let's talk about male Karens. Is there a name for male Karens? That would be interesting. Male Karens. New. Michael Cohen says that he got a passport with a fake name in the event he had to flee the country if Trump won the election. Well, I'm going to tell you one thing. I'm going to tell you, it's not a secret, really. I think I have said this other times in my live streams. You know that I have this fascination with international spies. Maybe not that much James Bond, maybe a bit more Ethan Hunt, but definitely Austin Powers. That is my kind of international man of mystery. But to be an effective international man of mystery, you need a couple passports, right? And when I started my nomad journey in the world, I having no actual place to be in the world, being a nomad, I said at some point I want to have a passport with another name, and this is something that is not that complicated. You just have to earn citizenship in some of these countries, which getting a citizenship is rather not complex. It's rather easy if you invest in the country. I had all sorted out, the whole plan. And after you get your citizenship in those small countries, you can change your name in that country and get a passport under that name, right? That should work. So, all right, now it's like now I'm an official international man of mystery. I have one passport under I don't know, maybe a French name or something like that, or some I don't know, maybe a Russian name, that was, another name. But then I realized that is a stupid plan. That could have worked in the 80s. That was everything in the 80s, or maybe even the 90s, was so much cooler. That's why I prefer to watch movies and TV shows and read books about that era, the 80s and 90s. Was so much interesting because right now we have biometric passports, and almost every single country right now, if any country wants to call itself a civilized country, they have biometric passports, like with your biometric data, with your face and your fingerprints and other things, which can, well, effectively send alarms that you are you, right? So imagine if I enter a country with my name and then try to enter the country again, but with my other passport, but the biometric data would say, hey, wait a minute, the fingerprints and the face of this guy is the same as this other guy with another name, that I will be essentially effed up. But big time. So I thought about all the whole, having a passport just for kicks and giggles. That would be interesting. But no, that is not going to work. A different thing. I mean, this is not criminal advice. This is not criminal advice. But in so many countries, especially Latin American countries, I must say, you can get a driving license with, not your name. It's something that, it's the perks of being Venezuelan or Mexican. I'm going to say that there are perks. You can, if you got the money, honey, like the song says, well, that's we have access to stuff. I don't know if the United States, it should be a bit more difficult, right? I don't know. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't try to do it in the United States at all. But yes, it's something that we could do in terms of driving licenses. But I'm not advising any of this. I'm not endorsing. I am not in any way liable in any shape or form of what can you do with this information. This is only for entertainment purposes. Remember that I learned to do it from the body language guy. Yeah, you would say it in Kurt, and I would scrape the body language guy brand from everywhere. Like throw all the CDs into the microwave. CDs. Look at me. I'm speaking like I'm in the 90s. Throwing CDs into the microwave. It's like, no, there was another era. All this is the cloud. The cloud doesn't exist. It's just another person's laptop or computer or server. But yeah, sadly, I miss the 80s. I miss the 90s. Not like nostalgia is going to have some kind of effect on me. But don't you tell me that that era was much, much easier in so many times and in so many ways. And we need to address this. This was very fun to watch. This was fun to watch in some breaking. Trump announced Linda McMahon for, I don't know how to pronounce, McMahon? The H, you pronounce the H? I don't know. Is the H pronounced? McMahon, I don't know. For Secretary of Education, Linda has been a fierce advocate for parents' rights. This is for the past 4 years as the chair of the board of the America First policy. Linda has been a fierce advocate for parents' rights, working hard at both AFPI and America First Works. So this is interesting, not only because of her record, but she's the wife of Vince, the guy of the Vince McMahon, the guy of the WWE. McMahon is a co-chair of Trump's presidential transition. Let's see, no H. Some say that McMahon. What? How do I? All right. Yeah, I'm going to keep an eye because I want to learn how to pronounce that. You go to Google. I mean, the best website to find out how anything is pronounced is a site called Youglish. It's like aggregator has all this all these YouTube clips that mention that exact word, so you can see like, I don't know, 10 or 20 examples how that is pronounced. Youglish, highly recommended. McMahon, silent. Okay, like McMahon. All right, McMahon. Thank you. Thank you, Gianna Norman. So many of you already. McMahon. So it's Vince McMahon, and this is Linda McMahon. McMahon strongly opposes DEI programs, thank God, calling them irrelevant to training skilled workers, adding that the policies add costs and administrative burdens to all apprenticeship programs. As Secretary of Education, Linda will fight tirelessly to expand choice to every state in America and empower parents to make the best education decisions for their families, Trump said. But the thing that I wanted to highlight this is because the video that was circulating, that, you know, that how it is the WWE, that even Donald Trump was beating Vince McMahon back in the day, and now Linda was in with the acting, and this was what the F is going on. But this is so fun to watch in the way that they act all this. What does Vince think? This is from David Sullivan, Sully 4272. Tom Homan, Border Czar, Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, Elon and Vivek, Department of Governmental Efficiency, and Matt Gaetz, Attorney General. Yeah. Yes, this is thank you for thanks for your compliments of my English. I still get very nervous about what do I do? Do I correct myself with my pronunciation on the fly? Do I bother you with this? What should I do? I don't know. But either way, there's so many issues we need to talk about. Let me take a look at your comments again. Let's make just a short pause. A short pause just to check on your comments. Soap operas for men, absolutely. That was the nice, storytelling. I've told you so many times. Maybe for my members, you know that I'm going to write it down. I want to write that down, that for my members in any of my platforms, I'm creating these videos about my most secret tips. I'm going to talk about storytelling today. So if you're a member on YouTube, for example, or are subscribed on X or at Locals or even on Patreon, then I will share these tips with you. Let me see if that. Why are they hitting this woman? It's just show. It's for a show. It's not real. It's not real happening. It's just it's let's say a circus. But saying that it is a circus is a bit disrespectful. That they are very, they practice this craft so much. They practice this craft so much. English is amazing. I wish I could speak Spanish as well as you speak English. I have told you many times, if you want to learn Spanish, you have my utter respect. Spanish is hard, and Spanish sometimes makes no sense. And I apologize. I can tell you what sounds good, but since I was born into Spanish, you merely adopted it. Since I was born into Spanish, I don't know how I use it. I don't know. I just know how to use it, but I don't know how I use it. I don't know how to explain that, right? So I might not be the best teacher for Spanish, but I could tell you Spanish is hard as nails to say it properly, to say it right. But it will just open up so many possibilities. Vamos a poder hablar en español, una parte, 5 minutos del video si practicamos. I have thought so many times, I had this idea, I would say that the Spanish word of the day, and especially Venezuelan word of the day, so you can learn to speak. Let's let's learn how to speak Venezuelan, and I maybe do some kind of a joke about that. The Spanish can be really sensual, really sexy, especially if you speak English. I'm told that all the time. Oh, your accent is so sexy. Yes, it's something that it's natural. It's not something I'm not doing anything about it. I just try to. In fact, it's something that I always try to pronounce English as good as possible, because you might be seeing captions, like automated captions in your video. If you're watching through YouTube or X as well, you can see automated captions. So I want to pronounce English properly, so the captions for those who are hard of hearing or are deaf can still watch my show. It's something that I have this. I know that so many of you require that. I sometimes use it to a lot of captions, and all my recorded videos have captions right away, on YouTube at least, all of them. It's so important, but that's maybe I digress. If I had a producer. Hey, you're saying that topic too long. Stop talking about your accent and move on to the next topic of the day. Next topic of the day is GOP Congresswoman Nancy Mace is introducing a resolution to ban transgender women from using women's restrooms at the U.S. Capitol. And this is so hot right now. And I would like to know why are we in this stage of Western society, the Western world, that we had to be talking about this, that this is a talking point. I wouldn't like to be talking about this. I find this stupid, because you can only have men and women. It's that simple. And men cannot be women and women cannot be men. It's as simple as that. By the way, I told you that you shouldn't join Blue Sky, which is a cesspool of libtards. But I joined, and I just tweeted, or I don't know how to say that on Blue Sky. I just say that on Blue Sky to see how long does it take for me to get banned. I say that. Men cannot be women, women cannot be men. I said that. And breaking, Rep. Nancy Mace introduces measure to ban men from women's bathrooms on Capitol Hill. Sarah McBride, or Tim McBride, in fact, who is the first trans member of Congress, blasted the attempt as far right-wing extremism. And you know that there's so many things that I agree with Matt Walsh. Of course, as anything, maybe I don't agree on his stance about anime and video games. Maybe we disagree on that. We agree to disagree. But in so many topics, from the moon landing to the trans agenda, we agree on this. Any Republican who doesn't support this measure should be shamed, humiliated, and voted out of office. This is as easy as it gets. McBride is a man in a dress. He does not belong in the women's room. Every Republican must be on board. No exceptions. No exceptions. So, this is what is going on. And this video was very representative of this. Nancy Mace is awesome, and we agree with her. But are you so brainwashed that we have to spell it out like this for people like Tim McBride who want to be called Sarah McBride? Yes, these people needs this as easy as this. Okay? It is sad. Oh, what is that? Is cisgender privilege. That is cisgender privilege. You know all these terms that they used to define us in some way. We're just men and women. It's that simple. Anything else is a mental illness. It's that simple. Trans Congresswoman Sarah McBride blasts the Republicans after a proposal that would block her from using women's bathroom on Capitol. No. It is him. That is the actual pronoun. Yeah, wearing women's clothes doesn't make you a woman. That doesn't work like this. And this is the actual guy. Joel Berry. This is Tim McBride, who now calls himself Sarah McBride and wants to use the women's restrooms in the Capitol building. I mean, you can call yourself whatever you want. You remember that well. Bad example, but Diddy was called Puff Daddy at some point, P. Diddy, and now just Diddy, and Sean Combs. I don't know how many names does that guy have. By the way, some notes that he wrote on his cell were meant to be destroyed. Or was this some kind of notes that were incriminating other people? Some judge said that those notes should be destroyed, but they were part of this privilege, confidentially information between him and his attorney. But well, you know how it is. We're still expecting for the Diddy tapes to drop on January 21st or maybe on January 20th. That would be great. But you can change your name. There's no problem. Call yourself Sarah or Laura or Maria or Rosario. I really don't care. But men go to men's restrooms and women go to women's restrooms. It's that simple. And don't get me started with the chromosome thing. Yeah, it's that simple. Women have XX chromosomes, men have XY chromosomes. There are exceptions. There are things that are not common, yes, but exceptions, every rule has exceptions. But the fact that there are exceptions do not discredit or make invalid the rule itself. It's that simple. And that is a flaw of reasoning that I see all the time. Oh, yeah, but there are men who are XXY, or there are women who have this, I don't know, half X or something like that. That's okay. That is an exception. There are mutations everywhere. Some of them are weirder than others. There's no shame in that, but there's a general rule that is based on biology. And if you don't go with biology, biology will go and slap you in the face. I'm not going to tell you what is biology going to slap you in the face with. I'm going to go into those details. This is Timothy McBride from Delaware. Timothy is a man pretending to be a woman named Sarah. This is either trolling or mental illness or a blend of the two. And is demanding to use the same bathrooms as real biological women on Capitol Hill. No, this ain't it, bro. I'm pretty sure that this insanity is going to pass. This is gonna pass at some point. I think we're past the point that this is going downhill, and all this is going to be sorted out in the next 4 years. They will realize. You will notice this, that since the Democrats and the libtards realized that this didn't work for Kamala's campaign, they cannot run on this for 2028. The problem is that they brainwashed so many people over this that this is like that Fantasia broom scene. You have the brooms that they are carrying the identity politics buckets full of DEI water, and they will not stop. And nobody can stop them, not even the Democrats themselves, not even if they change their policies. And if they change their policies, they have to replace those identity and DEI policies with another thing. And, well, for the time being, BlackRock, I need to address BlackRock at some point, is still interested in this ESG and all that DEI and all those three-letter stuff that is so maddening to me to say. And I know that by this point I'm in every three-letter agency list. Not twice, 3 times already. And on YouTube has already is like we see a red light. We see a red light in the Jesus Enrique Rosas channel. Why? What is this guy? Didn't this guy was talking? Why isn't he talking about body language? Jesus was so nice when you talk about body language. Not that plague out there was by talking about body language. Why aren't you talking about body language, Jesus? Why aren't you talking about this? Please talk about body language again. I will talk about body language, but there are so many topics that we need to talk about. Because a big thing in this channel is manipulation, and these people are manipulating weak minds into thinking that this is a viable way of living, or this is my freedom, this is my truth, this is the way I live, and you have to go with it. We will not comply. We will not comply. Easy on the filter. Yes, Walter the Tree, easy on the filter. Man, what is this? This is like when you are like 60% halfway through a portrait and you haven't begun to, go for the actual details. This is like flat my face filter, flat my face filter. Here I am using a women's restroom in North Carolina that I'm technically barred from being in. They say I'm a pervert. You are. They say I'm a man dressed as a woman. You are. They say I'm a threat to their children. Of course you are. They say I'm confused big time. They say I'm dangerous. Well, it's not exactly dangerous as long as you don't mess up, but I don't think these people are dangerous per se, but I don't think it would be comfortable for any woman to have a man in restrooms. That is a threat in itself. That is a danger in itself. But I just think these people are unhinged. Let's say, for the sake of consistency, that yes, he is dangerous, because anybody with an unchecked mental illness and not in a mental institution is dangerous. And regardless if you have a knife in your head or you're wearing lipstick, yeah, it's dangerous. I'm correct myself. I can be wrong sometimes. Yeah, he is dangerous. And they say accepting me as the person I have felt my life to be seen as reflects the downfall of a once great nation. Fuck sake, those who voted for you, those are sick in the head as well. Sick in the head. I'm just a person. We are just people trying to pee in peace. And you can pee standing up. And that is a privilege that you can exercise in the men's restroom. Why don't you go with the men's restroom? You have the privilege of a dick. It's that simple. Exercise your privilege to having a dick in the men's restroom. It's that simple. That's it. That's all you have to do. You have a dick, man. You have a dick. And no matter how much you want to, do I look feminine? Do I look feminine enough? Oh, let me post on Reddit right now. Let me post on Reddit. I'm going to post on Reddit right now. I'm going to go to Reddit. How do I look? How do I look? Look for more feminine tips. How do I look more feminine? Hey guys, I'm going to upload a picture of myself, and you tell me, you rate me from 1 to 10 how feminine I look, and give me tips. And how do I look like a woman? Oh yeah, no, man, no. Fuck. You are not a woman. You're just an ugly man in cosplaying a female. This dude who dresses up as a woman and won a congressional seat is very mad that women don't want him using the women's restroom on Capitol Hill. Sarah McBride is male. Sarah McBride is male. He doesn't belong in women's bathrooms. And we have this. Speaker Mike Johnson. By the way, I've always found his name. I always found his name funny. You know exactly why. And now that we're talking about dicks, this hey, can I talk to that is like a prank call. I have to say that. When I'm just going all out, man. Going all out. This is like a prank call. Hey, I want to know to Mike Johnson. Is Mike Johnson in there? Hey, is Mike Johnson in there? Is Mike Johnson? Oh, pal, if you don't know, well, you have a huge problem. I'm sorry. I am a man, man's jokes. That man's Mike Johnson. But, well, Speaker Mike Johnson just said the most savage thing he's ever said. Let me unequivocally clear. Unequivocally clear. A man is a man and a woman is a woman. and a man cannot become a woman. How is this savage? Well, it is. It is. In this era. How can this be savage? This means Congressman Sarah McBride will not be allowed to use the women's bathroom. And let's hear it from the man itself.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make a statement for all of you here and be very clear. I was asked a question this morning at the leadership gaggle, and I rejected the premise because the answer is so obvious. For anybody who doesn't know my well-established record on this issue, let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman. And a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity. And so we can do and believe all those things at the same time. And I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions. But that's where I stand.
Yeah, but we can treat everybody with dignity. But at the same time, we were talking about being dangerous and women feeling safe in their spaces. Some people were saying, hey, why don't we just settle this down? And we have this restrooms for this mixed restrooms. I strongly disagree. I strongly disagree with this. With this. Because so many people in the United States are, and many countries, I would say not only in the United States, in many countries, they, for example, they send their girls to the restroom. And if you have, maybe they can go by themselves, maybe you're at the cinema and your daughter wants to go to the restroom, you wouldn't want a restroom that is mixed, because that is a danger in itself. I am not saying, this is not to imply that every man is dangerous. That is asinine. Of course, that's not what I'm saying. But you know that for safety reasons, it would be nice if women keep their spaces without dicks. Okay? That's important. And men we can stay in our standing to pee spaces. We have that privilege. We will exercise that privilege in our spaces, and everything stays like the 80s, for fuck's sake. And it would be nice if we go back to that era in which this is a non-issue. And this is a non-issue. But this has been pushed. This has been pushed to, make it seem like it's some kind of problem nowadays. It is not. It is not. It's very simple. Men cannot be women. Women cannot become men. And Mike Johnson, I will not get tired of saying that name, he had some more words.
Mr. Speaker, is freshman-elect Sarah McBride a man or a woman?
Look, I'm not going to get into this. We welcome all new members with open arms who are duly elected representatives of the people. I believe it's a command that we treat all persons with dignity and respect.
This is interesting because he has to answer that if this deranged individual is a man or a woman. If he says it is up to them, he's telling a lie, because it is not to you to decide. It is not a construct. It is a biological reality, either if you are a man or a woman. It's that simple. So he has to tiptoe around the subject because he cannot, in this case, address the person directly. And notice that in the previous clip, he said those words in general, and now he's being attacked. Yeah, it's a bit of cowardice, if you will. I wouldn't know what to say in that circumstance. I know what I want to say in my show. I already made my point really clear, but I don't know in his shoes what he's opting to tiptoe around the subject.
And I'm not going to engage in silly debates about this. There's a concern about the uses of restroom facilities and locker rooms and all that. This is an issue that Congress has never had to address before.
I wonder why Congress had never had to address before, because, well, this insanity was not a thing before. It's that simple.
And we're going to do that in deliberate fashion with member consensus on it.
Yeah, let's waste time in a non-issue with so many things happening in the United States because, well, a guy wants to go into the women's restroom.
And we will accommodate the needs of every single person. That's all I'm going to say about that. Yes, sir.
Wrong. This is so wrong.
Do you plan on bringing Nancy Mace's transgender bill and putting that into the rules package?
I'm not going to address the plans on any of that. I just told you what I'm going to say about the issue. I'm not going to engage in this. We don't look down upon anyone. We treat everybody with dignity and respect. That's a principle that I've pursued my whole life. And we will take care of this, issue of first impression for Congress as we will any other thing.
Maybe they can bring one of those porta potties, put a porta potty in the outside of Congress and put a Sarah McBride or Tim McBride, I don't know, Mrs. McBride on the porta potty, and that's it. Oh, it's that simple. Very cheap, it should be very cheap. He's got his own space to pee, standing, this privilege of being able to pee standing up. And that's it. Porta potty. Oh, I should be a politician. I come up with this solution so fast. I should run for office, some kind of office. I was finding out that the only thing that I cannot be in the United States is president, but I can be any other. I can be a senator or mayor or governor. Maybe at some point I will run. Why not? Is there an alley? Is there an alley? Yeah, that would work as well. Maybe, yeah, around the corner, next to the wall and in the bushes. In the bushes, that would help a lot. Mental illness. These people are just insane. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has a nice take about that. Here's my women's bathroom proposal. Instead of making a trans bathroom, we should make a Republican women's bathroom and a Democrat women's bathroom. So all the Democrat women who agree with men using the women's bathroom can share their bathroom with the mentally ill trans biological men that they support. But no biological men, no matter what level of dress up they play, are allowed in the Republican women's bathroom. It's that simple. Well, it's not that simple. I prefer the porta potty. The porta potty is quicker. You can just make a call and bring the porta potty, put the Sarah McBride on it, and problem solved. It's that simple. The porta potty. Let's go for those of you maybe just in case if you I've been watching so many countries over the world, just want to make sure that you know what a porta potty is. Sometimes I want to make my show as universal as possible, and a porta potty is this, a portable toilet. Yep. It's great. Man, even it's accessible for anybody. It's great. Oh my God. Come to Georgia, Jesus. I will vote for you and campaign to. Yeah, maybe at some point I will run for something in the United States. We need new ideas. We need guerrilla ideas. How do I pronounce that? I don't know how to pronounce it. Guerrilla pronunciation. Let me see how the pronunciation of that. While we make some kind of let's do a very quick pause. Guerrilla was a guerrilla. What is the difference between guerrilla and gorilla? Is this guerrilla? It's the same. Yeah, I mean guerrilla as in guerrilla tactics, guerrilla warfare. and not gorilla, the animal. And it's the same pronunciation. It's exactly the same. Gorilla. Let me see.
Gorilla. Gorilla.
Gorilla. Okay, and how you pronounce gorilla?
Gorilla.
English doesn't make any sense. How do you know the animal and the the warfare tactic is the same pronunciation? Well, that's just, English doesn't make any sense. English doesn't make any sense. Yeah, this is same pronunciation. Gorilla, gorilla, gorilla. It's just it's out of just from the context, Jesus. You just get it from the context. That's easy for you. It's easy for you. Yeah, this guerrilla tactics. Guerrilla. Yeah, that could be like guerrilla. I would watch that. That sounds like an anime, by the way. We were talking about anime. I would watch an anime called Gorilla. Gorilla. That would be nice. If your name was Mike Hunt, would you take it? I remember that there was this, now that we're talking about the 80s. We're talking about the 80s. You remember, so many of you were born in the 70s. I was born in the 70s, so I was a child in the 80s. There was this movie. Now you're making me think. How do you pronounce that word? Movie.
Movie. Movie.
Movie. It was a movie called Porky's. You remember Porky's? I have some. I'm going to 1981 film. What the F? 1981. Oh my, yeah, sex comedy. It was. How many of you know which movie I'm talking about? Porky's. And I remember that one scene of Porky's was that someone was doing this prank call to a bar or a restaurant. I don't remember. And this girl picks up the phone, and the prank was with that name. I'm looking for Mr. Hunt. He's Mr. Hunt. It's Mike. And this girl begins to say, has anybody seen Mike Hunt? Has anybody seen Mike Hunt? Yeah, it was just glorious. How do I remember that? I am not going to elaborate on it, but for obvious reasons, I might have watched that movie more than once. You know, the 80s. I had a TV set in my room. So, well, oh my God, good times. There were, I think even the poster would be banned nowadays. I'm going to share with you the poster. Even the poster of the movie will be banned. Yeah, I really miss the 80s sometimes. All this shenanigans of identity and stupidity and all this stuff. Look at this. How would this would be made nowadays? Like this, it's full Peeping Tom. It's full Peeping Tom. This I'm sure I have to check if I still have. If my live stream on YouTube is still running, I have to check it right now because let me see. I want to check out. I have had a lot of fun today, by the way. Have had a lot of fun live streaming. Okay, this live, everything is running smoothly so far. Jesus, what kind of example are you for children of the future? Well, you know that my show is a bit more adult nowadays. But well, that movie was hilarious. Yeah, it was hilarious. They could make movies back then without the criticism of radical people. Yeah, because you have like movies for everybody. You could make a movie and you knew that some movies were not for children and some were not for teenagers and some were, well, I don't know, X-rated. That should be the standard nowadays. But nowadays, people get triggered by so stupid things. But we need to talk about the actual woke stuff. Where I am, actual woke stuff. I thought that today the show was gonna be like 1 hour, and we are like 1 hour and 12 minutes, and it went like this. It's impressive. It went like this. But I lost track of the time. But we need to really address this campaign, the Jaguar Copy Nothing. For copyright reasons, I'm going to make sure to not put the audio of this. You already know we watched this yesterday, and we were wondering, where are the cars in here? I remember that I was watching this live, and I say, maybe I made a mistake, and I made the wrong call in here, and this is another brand called Jaguar, another car brand. But then I checked it out live, and it was the car manufacturer brand. And the website has absolutely nothing to do with cars. The new era, this looks like fashion, fully woke. You remember that I mentioned that this had this Temu Andy Warhol. Where's Temu Andy Warhol? There is Temu Andy Warhol. I don't know, maybe this is a woman. One can never tell nowadays. One can never tell. I'm afraid of misgendering him or her or they, them. And so many memes. Before we go into the actual design, some of you already know that I'm a graphic designer as well. There's this meme from Stone Toss Comics. You remember to go to Stone Toss. This is the website, and you check all the Stone Toss comics. They did the meme. Jaguar did the meme. Behold, our newest ad campaign. And you see that hamburgers, and the ad campaign is something that, what does this have to do with hamburgers? And then one of the executives says, are you sure this will help us sell more burgers? And burgers? Who's talking about burgers right now? And sadly, I also started advertising, and I could talk about advertising as well. I remember that the golden era of advertising, all the way back to Mad Men up until the late 90s. I love the late 90s era of ads, by the way. But this, how do you change? How do you butcher a brand like this? You have a font or a typographic design, the font, the how do you call the letters of a logo, which are extended in the sense that they have this sense of speed, right? Because when you see something fast, it like squishes, like extends. That is the term, at least in Spanish, is extended fonts. And of course, it doesn't have serif in the sense that the letters don't have no ornament. It's very clean. It's very pragmatic. It's on point. Why did they change it for this? And most important, why are they mixing lowercase and uppercase letters? Because this A is lowercase and this G is uppercase. This is retarded. This looks like I don't know, like water bottles, or I don't know what do you think this looks like? This would be a brand of what? Somebody said yes, Twin Star Galactica. I'm going to, you help me. They say that great minds think alike. And Twin Star Galactica has what they are saying. This is the actual name of the brand right now. This is how it should be called. Thank you, Twin Star Galactica. Jaguar, because that is the image. That is the image. Not to be offensive or anything, because you know the difference between being gay and this. It's a huge difference. This is awful for the brand. Has nothing to do with the style of the brand. And well, the reactions, J.E. Duchess Marmalade, the old logo was sleek, fast, and dangerous, an exotic breed. The new logo is an overfed house cat of no particular pedigree. Spot on. Jose Rosado, big shout out to Jose. Horrible. Al-Azhar, why would they do this? The new design has no character to it. Has no character. Ginger Handy, Ginger Gall, by the way, make sure to follow her and Mike on YouTube. Gay, as in, well, you know, this is not it. This change is not it. I mean, what is the target audience of Jaguar? What is the target audience of Jaguar? Because even if you are gay, even if you were gay, I'm sure that if you're going to go to a Jaguar showroom, you want to look for cars that look like this. You want to look for cars that look like this. You might be gay and you will not buy cars that have sports cars that have this logo. And I know that this is a huge distinction. A huge distinction. Wow, Resting Doll Face. Big shout out to Resting Doll Face, by the way. Wow, the new logo looks like a cheap restaurant in comparison. And this, I thought you guys made cars, and the account of Jaguar say, we do. All will be revealed. It seems there's gonna be some kind of event on December. We're gonna be there, like at least digitally. Where are the cars in the ad? Is this for fashion? Think of this as a declaration of intent. Yeah, these people are F up. These people are F up in so many ways. And Elon Musk himself chimed in, do you sell cars? And Jaguar replied, yes, we'd love to show you. Join us for a cuppa in Miami on December 2nd. Warmest regards, Jaguar. Go woke, go broke. And they say, oh, how quirky. Go hard. That's hard. That's just a bunch of people in costumes. This is hilarious, says Joel Goldberg. Either it's some high-level marketing shit designed to generate engagement, or it's about to be the biggest crash and burn in rebranding history. It could be a crash and burn, because this rebrand and this stuff, the copy nothing and all these specimens in the video. You know what I thought about when I saw this. When I saw this, I said, this looks like an ad made by Derek Zoolander. Derek Zoolander made that both in taste and both in imbecility. Both of them combined, spot on. There's no other way to do this. Maverick Alexander, big shout out to Maverick Alexander. He makes just amazing AI stuff. I remember that we played some of his AI stuff in one of my shows. If Jaguar were smart, this would be a multi-part ad, and this abomination would be part 1. Part 2 would be a huge pivot, absolutely obliterating all the nonsense they laid forth in part 1. In part 2, with explosions, bald eagles, actual jaguars, and gratuitous usage of the words gay and retarded, Jaguar could sit back and count their money as they achieved one of the smartest, most sophisticated pump fakes in advertising history. They want to do this, but can you imagine? Jaguar, just kidding, would be the campaign to end all campaigns. They are not going to do this. They are not going to do this. They are going to be another Bud Light, because these people have learned essentially nothing. First was Bud Light. They were not the first, and certainly not the last. Harley Davidson went also through this, and they F around and found out, and now Jaguar. When will they learn? I don't know, but I do know that watching the downfall of these woke companies is just awesome to watch, and it makes great content for my videos. It makes great content for my videos. Not gonna lie, this is the best stuff that we have seen in a long, long time. In a long, long time. What else did we have today? Well, we have been on a roll. Oh my God, 1 hour. We are already 20 minutes over time. We are 20 minutes over time. I'm going to maybe suggest, I'm not going to play it because I try to make this show more compact. Maybe I spent too much time on the porta potty stuff, but we needed to address that the way that we address that topic. And this was an interview to Milton Friedman, in which he was talking essentially what Javier Milei was saying, that so many things that have to be removed from the government. This clip is 4 minutes long. You can find it. Just go for it and on X, and you search Milton Friedman and you find it. And it's a nice clip which explains why it's so important to have a government that is as nimble and unobtrusive as possible. Because with so much and many more ministries and divisions and all the stuff, you bloat the government to a level that makes it unsustainable, and they just spend all your taxpayer money on useless stuff and sometimes immoral stuff. But I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. What do we have here? We have a super chat, or one super chat. We are cooked if this continues. I don't know, Mansadusa. I apologize. I don't know what were you talking about. But we were talking about so many crazy stuff. Maybe it was about the trans women and men, which are essentially trans women are men. Maybe that's what you were talking about. I don't even know how long was your super chat, but thank you for chiming in. And so I'm really thankful for all of you to be here in today's show. Which changes? We were going to address a couple things. Let's see. The show is officially over for today, but a couple things that I want to address first. A couple things I want to address first. Very important. I don't know. I went off the rails. I went completely off the rails on YouTube today. Remember that we are live through YouTube, the Jesus Enrique Rosas channel, on X, Kinesics, and on Rumble, the Jesus Enrique Rosas channel. Make sure, if you're watching through YouTube, please make sure to create an X and Rumble account and follow me there. The link is in the description. Both links are in the description. This is quite important. Again, I know that you like me going completely unfiltered like today's show, but sometimes I will need to address some content that will not be YouTube compliant, not YouTube friendly, and I will have to kill the YouTube stream, and let's just go to Rumble on X when we can go all out on this and say whatever we want, or whatever I want, and whatever you want in the comments, without any filter whatsoever. But for that, it's important that you follow me on X and Rumble, so we are prepared for that. I don't know. My hope is that that you always have to follow the money. And what does follow the money mean in this case? Snarf Magru, I sometimes use code talk. For example, I say the horizontal mambo instead of having sex. When we're talking about crimes, and it's on the horizontal mambo is like code that I use for having sex in some. It's not that saying that having sex is forbidden, but in some criminal, and especially when you have when there's sexual abuse, that is sexual abuse. That is not having sex, but you get the idea. I try to use these terms to not be very triggering to the YouTube algorithm. But I know that you want this kind of unfiltered stuff, and you want the real Jesus to chime in on this. And I have many takes on many topics that many people can find offensive, but by this point, I already know what is the audience that I want to address. And the audience that I want to address is you, my lovely body language buddies, because you are tired of the nonsense of the world. And yes, I sometimes can be offensive, but it's not for the sake of being offensive. It's for the sake of saying things like they are. And sometimes in the street, we say things like they are. We're going to give you an example. I'm going to give you an example and check again if YouTube hasn't banned me. Ban is the name for life. Something I want to, wait a second. I want to check something. Okay, we're still live through YouTube, no problem. I need to tell you an anecdote about my hairdresser. What do you call the guy who used to cut my hair? Barber. Could be barber. He was really a hairdresser. I went to this beauty salon because he was so good at I don't know, in many ways he taught me a lot of how to take care of my hair. My hair was a mess when he began to help me how to. I was really stressed at the time as I was beginning to I was balding like here, like Harry, and he taught me so many things. And of course, he was gay, right? You usually work at a salon cutting hair, not to stereotype, but he was gay. No issue with that. Someday, something very funny happened. I'm pretty sure that I told you this anecdote like 1 year ago, but someday, it was many years ago, someday something very funny happened. He was cutting my hair. He was talking to another guy who was dyeing some lady's hair. And they were talking about this man, this straight guy, who they knew were a friend of them, their friend. And this straight guy had groomed his eyebrows. Okay, he had like groomed his eyebrows. You know that the shape of eyebrows. I know that he got some kind of permanent tattoo on his eyebrows or something. And my barber, my stylist said, and I will never remember this, he looked so gay. And I said, like, what? I said, like, I laughed, and he laughed as well, because he knew what he meant, and he knew that I knew as well. I mean, why? How does that work? And he had to stop cutting my hair because we burst off laughing. And he said, okay, I mean that I don't know if I can just say that word here. Okay, I mean that he looks like a fag. Okay, this is the thing. I had this gay stylist, and he used the word gay in a dismissive way, and it was so confusing for me. How does that work? I asked him. He was laughing. Oh yes, because he's a straight guy, and he looks gay, and he said that like it was a bad thing, and it was it's this kind of things that I tell you. It was like, I don't know, like 10 years ago, maybe more, in Venezuela, that there's basically no problem about that. You have gay friends. There's no issue. You have biracial, black, Asian friends. We have no issues with any of that. And we laugh at that kind of topics. And it's so upsetting that kind of stuff, we have to tiptoe around that like it was eggshells. 10 years after the fact in the Western countries. What is going on? I don't understand. I don't understand why do we have to. So I was talking about the Jaguar thing, and that's why I tell you, some of you, oh, Jesus, you cannot talk like that. And I would ask you, why can't I talk like that? Because there's a big distinction. And South Park, I cannot play that clip on YouTube, but South Park made a great skit, like 30 seconds, of the difference of something being gay and something being like faggoty. Okay, it's just brilliant. Just look for it. You will find that clip, and maybe we can discuss in one of those times that we just go to Rumble and X, and we can discuss that clip. But that is a real thing, and I'm sure that my gay friends make fun of that as well. Like that is so gay. That's the way that we should be talking about this. We should be getting along, and we should be making fun of things. That's something that I encourage people to be like Venezuelans, in the sense that not like the Tren de Agua, that's for sure, but we should be more like being let's say, making fun of things. And sometimes we make fun of things in a how to say this, in ways that are not offensive at all. I mean, we can be very good at bullying. Absolutely. We have, if we are going to bully somebody, we go all in. But terms like, epa, negrito, ven acá. You know, that word, negrito, okay, it could be really offensive in many countries, but something so natural for us, okay? And we say that the word is term of endearment. That can be a term of endearment in Venezuela. And naturally. And it's totally normal. So it's baffling for me in many ways, coming from my culture that has many flaws, but we need to identify what can we take from that and realize that there are many, many ways that we can address things, and we don't have to be upset about systemic racism that was propped up by Obama. It's like someone said, how is it possible that we had movies like that Ted Danson and Whoopi Goldberg movie that they were a couple, and nobody complained? There were no riots, or nobody complained about that. Or how we got a movie in which God was played by Morgan Freeman, a black man, and nobody said anything about that. And the movie was good. I remember that. What was the name of that movie? It was with Jim Carrey. I forgot the name of that movie. You remember that movie, right? Morgan Freeman as God. No big deal. This was propped up as a big deal since the Obama administration. They essentially brought back racism. They just manufacture all this stuff of the trans issue. They manufacture all this oppression of gays, that they had achieved so many rights, and there are so many gays against the trans agenda that you couldn't believe it. And so many people that just want to be left alone, and they are against all those pride flags in the schools and all that stuff. Because you know how it is that Bruce Almighty. That is Bruce Almighty. That was the movie. Thank you, Marty Young. Thank you for that. You know, how is that called? That is called common sense. I mean, that is a term that we repeat over and over again in this channel, in this shows. It's something that we needed to address. Life is not black and white. A term doesn't have to be offensive all the time. You can have nuance. But the libtards have set out to remove any nuance or context of anything. Everything is triggering. Everything is upsetting. And we need to be, more comfortable with critical thinking and the real issues. Because those puppet masters that tried to prop up Kamala with $1 billion and they couldn't, and those puppet masters that want to push the world into World War III because they are desperate, those puppet masters want to create something out of nothing. And if I have a duty in this world, is to stop them, even if I am just another content creator. But I will raise my voice against that insanity. And I just thank you for being here and supporting my channel in every way. Just with this rambling and with stuff and all this. Because we need to bring common sense back. We have to make common sense great again. Again, it was a great show today. It was a great show. It was a nice rambling at the end. It was not rambling. I am, I'm criticizing myself. I'm dismissing myself. That was not rambling. That was the truth. I'm telling you the truth. That's so liberating in many ways to be able to talk like this, because this is the thing that we need. And I sincerely apologize that I did not do this earlier. And this has to be done. And more with, of course, being respectful, but calling out the nonsense whenever we see it. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And until we meet tomorrow at the same time, 12 p.m. EST through YouTube, X, and Rumble, remember the most important words: much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.